Right, Abusia Mamena was Namimo Aquaba Famra Ashanti Media, so like video in our share the movie fufro. Na onu so nya bi etumi ahwe. Ene ikoko boden semu a ekoso no na miracles abuaje ede nchiremu bebre ede aba efa atrosemu a NDC aban ede eto MPP so se omo na broka to ho ene nam so ma ne no omo ntimi entua kokobod ananse omo ntimi ntua Ghana ekuafo the amount omo deserve say omo de ema wo mo ne de ekeka ho nyina no miracles ede nchiremu aba na in fact say to obo na utie nsem na ogbehu se NDC for atro no adosun even crampo no asem ni nyina ne se obi entumi nya adwuma na ye de adwuma ne hye wonsa ugusu eblemu nipa na you have to take the bold decisions and do the work and deliver for the people and so anya sa na ye hu no afi nso kra no ohwe eka na NDC eja to ho 2017 omo hand over the man Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo now de to enedie hu a utimu se etro ani atro sem no de omaka bi e de egu MPP super miracles abuaji said there be entra ho emma sansem entoa so enkoso esa na egu Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ni MPP aban ehu efi nti na wo se me ba bontin na mtimi de nchiremu ba nka nafo ehu nokre ewo sansem ni nyina mu obusia nsem de wabru bebre so ye beji bre na yakwa akutie nsem no na yenso ya dwenkyire efa sansem a ekoso no ho no yetumi
People's Forum idea no Efrahin
obi what I say tama yewura November December no na Ghana ha na NDC for ema o mine nyina adwen se Ghana say the good afaka kwan so man okay almost $1 above fam inflation above fam. That was the time on NDC ni kasa o ka bibia Mahama is the whole bibia just say they didn't even let people talk, but within that period, we have a team. We have a team of young, intelligent, your friend is saying, researchers. And so within that period, then we decided to say, yeah, appraisal of the NDC performance. One say, fact based.
Okay.
We always prefer say we'll deal with the issues and deal with the facts. And see, we took the NDC's manifesto. Because you be the BBA Bekasa. Any far NDC budgets me, near year assessment. You go to a year assessment. If we're there for about 5 days, you're going to conclave for about 5 days. Very young, smart guys, about 30 of them. The outcome of such assessment, and they say NDC has done very well in certain aspects, especially when it comes to the macroeconomic indicators, dollar, inflation, which has obviously affected food honest animal. But they identified a contradiction. Inti almost red flag, Inti me back no. Analysis. So no say they way that I see because a strange say on my way we know how our economy run. For the first time, it looks as if say whilst the macroeconomic indicators are improving in an unprecedented manner, the cost of living in the country rather is worsening. Until there was a disconnect. Until even the total appraisal of the NDC performance, because we realized that there was a crisis situation to deal with. Because this was at a time, and now NDC force your minor, and all. Then we realized that what these guys have been doing over the period, rather than say, creating a certain facade, a certain public relations, caricature be, animation be, see, 1 year you miss the details. So we decided to now take what we have found to the people. Niyanko find out say EBIA MPP for Ntina BBIA Fena na say what is the situation on the ground. And no the People's Forum by into the first episode of People's Forum near Koyo Kofodia.
Okay.
Any other market women, taxi drivers, nursing students, teacher trainee students, unemployed, way for your nominal trust and a year analysis. The outcome of that purpose forum was quite clear. Say there is a disconnect between what the government is doing and its impact in the lives of the people. And no, the main said no. We need to create a platform, amplify the voices of the masses, because what we realize and say just about 10% of the population truly have been positively impacted by the government's performance. I won't lie to you. obi a owo ni sika to car fi abrochire ba obi a o drive on one car okotofu or filling station so I just say obi a ne ba ko school or Roman radio $2 obi o ye businessman a or $6 ko di dwaba obi o tu kwan kwa abrochire e ko vacation. These people are people who are benefited, but almost no more access to wo obi any Asempa FM. No more access to Joy News. No more access to Adom. Inti na say you can say, hey, how is the country going? Say, oh, it is going well. It is going well. Without realizing, say, even Accra here, between 75 to 80% of the people in Accra ever church wrong. Into an on fuel station where they and koto fuel. It is all catching say fuel a bafemo. I am pa bafemo yan true. Name no impact here because he ain't church fair no so yet. In other places, crampo no, in the next 1 hour, ebi mu betua double as we tuya den edufie. Obi wo ha esane sa stress we nti onyane 3 no obedu office ntem se na be yondi traffic mu upon 5 a obedu fie na about 11 no akoda no onyane 3. We realized that there were a lot of people that they cannot voice out because they have been overshadowed by the voices of the 10% be now mono truly, and I must be very honest, they have benefited. I don't know for people's forum here then. But you free or no? I feel they all non-crofos and no inbox. Your problem, your issue near teacher for or my form or my 14 months. I buying it to 1 month pay. The cannot buy into ya. No more send it, no more the details of my nurse for training college for and commodity and pay you name. I feel I buy more with the other bar copy. Ye mom no more tro. A honey you said no, we need to help. And the help no, it's not about our views anymore. It's just simply putting out the views of the people. And on the people's forum near the buyer.
But you are saying, sir, or more a frame or some may highlight your issues and more. No. They don't care, cross the faces behind when a politicians. They don't care.
They even like it that way. Because they've come to realize that it is when the politicians pick up the issues that the politicians react. That's a cocoa for when you say in October or November.
Yes.
And I'm saying, yeah, Munada Roman people's for any Kabuma, Sanka buying reacted. So you see, they are right. Because immediately people's forum took up the matter. Then it became a topical matter. Then it got attention. Then government reacted. And that is why they are excited about it. Because Obi, the masses need to be heard. You to meet radio, see the BNA and Kwane, D and Wetchinje, and this is for can people focus. Nipane.
But there are allegations, and so say this whole thing, no, more call ahead, call prepping, call for extra one, you want, some of them cry a party for no matter for one just to create a certain effect. How do you respond to it?
Obi say, and this is for you more sana, or more fana. Extra no could be no more cocoa for no more can't cocoa for no. Say, and you no cresse yatimusikaso. Say, and you no cresse more cost input into the cocoa farm. Me cocoa farm, ewo jabo, ewo mfrano, wa unimu mfrano, unim jabo, enuma pepe musaido. I just want to hear me cocoa farm ho. Minimum the cost in there. About a year or 2 ago, now me far laborers were me cocoa farm, me 1250 cedis, and then me mom 120 gromonje. This one be 150 Ghana cedis. And these are what the people are saying. If you think say more kasani MPP for you more, it's okay. Yeah, the idea say we'll go to the people and we'll go and amplify the voices of the people. Me, baby, I'm a coin ray, me call that. Baby, a coin ray, me call that minimum bia ho. Me the say,
Ashanti
if I don't fe or bompata side or me call that. Obi sending me inbox because I'm a cocoa growing area and they want their voices to be heard. And I'm a catch a team and say and we'll continue to do it because the voices of the people must be heard. It is up to the government. Your voices we na sa buying beti and wait when tie na sem say no beti interpret the be there. And you see the good thing is say we make sure say we are amplifying the voices of the people. You can debate the facts. Say the okano enya no kre say ne friend is saying the cocoa no born what as well. And they say na wa catch no anameboa. So ours is to amplify what the people are saying. It is the government's mandate to do whatever they want to do with the information. But we are not stopping. We will not stop today. We will not stop tomorrow. We will not stop the day after. I have come to realize after the appraisal at the end of the year and say this particular government, say if we don't highlight the issues, they are fefe omunia mimua, omudi PR. ebe kata bibia so, and I'll do everything together with the team. Me no say the team is already they are out there. Team no me no say omko ndra ye buy ye better match we omko by echina omo de other issues here the eba ye adwuma no adwuma no, and it is the government's responsibility to also fix the issues. So long as I have a team of dedicated young people who are willing and ready to work to help amplify the voice of the people.
More the amount for ne can ababa be trigger, but and I'm some buying at the response about. There was an emergency cabinet meeting. Government through the finance minister announced buying decisions, immediate, short term, medium term, long term plans. Buying at the go so. Meaning say based on the buying beka you know, and normally they say abaya taking decisions say or better a born so. Going out enra, yes, swab of voices be amayate, but you get the sense say. A man for a situation na ye woman as I say world market price na a drop it, and government says it has no choice than to also give them a corresponding price. In fact, Democrats will say what they've given them near 92% of the FOB or CSR.
Obi, you see what the government needs to understand. There is a buying tears here and say only woman for ne AD in South.
Yes.
First of all, a coin of befa sokra on your mobekasa. And no means was only very important. There was a crisis. October, November, December, January, 1 year, February, Assembly, he, I don't know any here. On one for none, call myself one of the better winning.
Yes.
And also be doing Juma. Oko emergency cabinet. O by the next day, what by announces a what me bosso, what brown mending comobia. Was a meaning to. No engagement with the farmers. And yes, I buy when no more opposition, no more free meetings. I can see,
yes. In the cocoa,
Honorable Eric Opoku, Honorable Kessel Atoheford,
Atoforsen,
sorry, Sami Jemfi, Omoko Fre, friend saying stakeholders meeting, no more church room. Why I didn't know man, yes, I didn't know some of this announcement here, there, Baba. Just say, yeah, the amount of Jai, after all. Ebi mu koko abedi me ho nti won je asemi ntua ena ebi mu su koko akesi de mu. That's the sort of scenario farmers no ehu omo say aban de o ma hyem akwai te say de oba bia ye sesi ya no mema. And that is one problem. Number 2, farmers ne say omo ni aban we wa pam, omo ni aban we e wa pam, omo say aban no hyehye ebo bi mo mo o say wo ba obeba mo 6,500 Ghana cedis. In fact onobo erokopu kra de Onua FM, Onua TV, or say omo ba mu, no man fast 6,500 Ghana cedis no, ama koko ekuafo na koko no hwan dia. Koko no na hwan dia. Ya fa mo koko no hwan dia. Sado ka yo, koko no hwan dia. Na ohu dia ti a ese so mo 65 dia dey, e me ekuafo no. To the extent say
also cancer based on the prevailing condition.
No problem. No, me tell me there. Say
okay.
Obi, me there and no me kasama no.
Okay.
And you see remember say see ano eh cocoa farmers na any abaye nya wo. Enya ye dey kan cocoa farmers na se mo mo. Enti wo ba he na untumi mo 65 no. Anya bia wakọ church mo mu ana. Ana wo tinkan. Na wo dey wa hihye na me se mema mo. Na wo ba he no so no. Wo tamabuo bi a person dey den e dey mo. Almost say they cannot accept the 2,500. Almost in and engine china.
Farmers.
Oh, almost you. Obi say abai underrated cocoa farmers situation where now me no I'll be surprised.
Say omo what it means omo cocoa ne beka dem.
Obi wo dey unim la make say me governments should not play with the cocoa situation. Cocoa you need substitute for it. When it comes to bibi abe anko ye economy Abai seem to be prioritizing gold over cocoa. Now, omo ehwe ni year, omo betu ye nyina akɔhye amenem. Obi me say cocoa farmers no. Sabai anti omani ahwe omo ampe kwan papa bi so. What the cocoa farmers are asking for is simple. Omo say they want a bailout, not a haircut. Abai nko peska. Na say awotira banana mama ye dia, onfam baili omo. Because and they are not responsible for the situation we find ourselves now. The cocoa farmers, they are not responsible for the situation we find ourselves now. It is government own incompetence.
Incompetence. The government doesn't control the world market price.
Obi, and that is another misrepresentation of buying pedal around ANMSRE. When you say Ghana, your cocoa, your major crop season, your turn between October to December.
Yes.
Now light one, if you January. And I wouldn't say air forward sales.
Yes.
When you say cocoa board has the mandate to forward sale up to about 24 months. Ube tumaton, and then me no can say February 2026. Ube tumaton the whole of 2027 cocoa. Now what on 2028 cocoa? You can sell 24 months ahead. The reason why we have forward sales and they say, "Oh, one crofwa or mine to your moka." My human is almost around a pa. Almost your calculation as a session, my human is on making sure some bed did ye. Send a bear cocoa, you know, the home cocoa day and coach. And nunti, and last year, I bind to me mark cocoa for into mu, a moment 3,600. Come to Tonton again based on a certain price. October, November, December, na cocoa born and I'm 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. A choir at some point could do 11,000. 1 ton. What's in a home? What's in a home? My head February. I feel when you say Precopeno, a SWAT TF is 7,200, about 3,600. Cocoa about so. Cocoa, no man can't tell about buying so. I am a maker. See you, Nangasaneka. Now, assembly be for the sake of the progress of the country. Men person make count because if you are car, it bet me affected the entire market. And to make but see you, Nangasa be no can say cocoa no about 50,000 abonus own to minton. And no, you want to hold. The walk cocoa for no day, because they do baby no.
And no, almost 17,000 metric.
Already, almost found by it.
Abayaka.
On found by it.
Sir,
or your projection,
of course.
Or your projection, yes, but on farm railway, on farm railway, or your projection, but on farm railway. Because some of the bar no matter turning away. So at the moment you don't have it yet. Now the question is that one uncle, as I saw ton at the other time and I born an amusrono. I you 2 hour. I 1 ton. I ne a boss. No be catch and say yatisunti. Obi. The question I keep asking Cocoa Board, they say, Senka omoton cocoa or mukreni na time I saw omoton na. Anka with the current price affect the farmer.
No, that's when we have forward sales.
Exactly. So what are you talking about? So we have forward sales. And I will take advantage of some bullish period, you know. And I will just have peak prices now. And can international market price on be affect future trades. And affect current trades. You know, say cocoa prices, you know. 1,006, 2,000, acquire 3,000. What's why no paper cope? And then I'm 11,000, 9,000, acquire copy 13,000. Over to me a ton 2027, 2028 cocoa 24 months ahead. 1 ton. What's last year? Oh, transport price. And I know why I insist that the government is more interested in stocks. What will say yes argument to you other?
Yes.
Minister media fit here. Yes, I debate way for months and weeks. And you know you could tell say the NDC's appetite for spot price and high. The entire problem the cocoa farmers are facing now is simply because the NDC government refused to sell cocoa, most of the cocoa using forward sales. Almost your margins almost train no matter on spot sales. Hoping say price they be as that time never cost. Or municipality or mono, na price na then at Tiaba film. And na cocoa na ka a good day more to minton. Because no so ton cocoa no at the current price na ewo amansen so na on to min to your cocoa no eka. It's Yakadaho, and that is why they had no choice but to reduce the cocoa price. Remember, also say this whole scenario, no, other decisions of the government also impact was who. Okay, say Tama, almost some years artificial manipulation of this currency. I was one of the first individuals that make on air say the currency manipulation now. Abani, will have ripple effect on other aspects. I was here, you remember when I told you about how export sector was suffering. Ebi na cocoa board this offer no. Obi because one more example. Say cocoa board cotton cocoa $1 billion 2024. Ebi na 14 cities and kebi obenya 14 billion cities beboa.
Yes.
And then what is about 10 cities? Enti onya 10 billion cities. That means there's a shortfall of 4 billion cities o cocoa board sikim. We cocoa board so omo the projections be na ebo mo ho akwama. Sa shortfall no ukonya ne he. Either say ubenya no from high market prices and I say high production. Now you don't have any of them. So I just say it's other macroeconomic decisions, you know. they have other effects on other places. So the second reason also goes to the government, because the government's decision. I am not saying say currency needs to afford, but you should have been mindful. You should be aware. So who takes our decision, especially when it is artificial. Yeah. Or go and look at the Ghana Statistics Service data on the bill. Go and look at the real sectors. The real sectors are suffering. The real sectors of the economy are suffering. And the reason is because currency performance is not driven by production. It is not. It's not driven by production. And once it is not driven by production, employment will suffer. The export sector will suffer. Export sector also suffer. They will cut off your friends and jobs. And these are the realities. And none of the reasons are situation is as a cause of the farmer. Neither is it because of the international price. Almost international price. I've explained to you. The international market price is not the reason why this current price has been reduced. Because this current price there, and come on, cocoa the time necessary now. And there is no way. Number two, cocoa about debt. Any reason why I was situation a woman. And this is something that now anka yempese bekom, because you see yempese cocoa body issues no be NDC versus MPP. Cocoa body issue no e farmers versus NDC. NDC no mo ni o makuafo anya. Yen ka ho. But me who say NDC for in their attempt to deal with this incompetence any crisis no come on just come be twi MPP ewuram. Into better as almost here na ka MPP bottle ho and omu jaya ka 32 billion cedis and omu ye say and nothing na ye brand
yeah, but you cannot run away from those issues as well.
Obi, did those issues come up in January 2025?
2025.
Did they come up in January 2026?
No.
Did they come in January 2025?
No.
Were the debt available as at 2024? Were they there in 2023? Exactly. It's debt yeah can one some we see and into what take your physical so now 2023. Obi make us and this is something that now anka yempese bekom, because you see yempese cocoa body issues no be NDC versus MPP. Cocoa body issue no e farmers versus NDC. NDC no mo ni o makuafo anya. Yen ka ho. But me who say NDC for in their attempt to deal with this incompetence any crisis no come on just come be twi MPP ewuram. Into better as almost here na ka MPP bottle ho and omu jaya ka 32 billion cedis and omu ye say and nothing na ye brand here
yeah, but you cannot run away from those issues as well.
Obi, did those issues come up in January 2025?
2025.
Did they come up in January 2026?
No.
Did they come in January 2025?
No.
Were the debt available as at 2024? Were they there in 2023? Exactly. It's debt yeah what can one some we see and into what take your physical so now 2023 or 2024 or 2022 or 2020 and yet yankotie kuafo sika so. Sure, unim data MPP inherited from NDC and I'll say it's 19 billion cedis. Obi kan dey we mami.
Source na here.
Oh, obi u dey nyabo say oh na dey kan we mami. We are kan na wa the kan headline na wa ka source no.
We Reuters into Ghana's Cocoa Board says clearing debts after wasteful spending. We November 1st, 2017.
Kind debt no. One first line.
In your say Ghana's Cocoa Board has initiated reforms to clear its debt of up to 19.6 billion cedis, which is 4.45 billion US dollars.
Obi.
Resulting from bloated contracts and wasteful expenditure by previous managers, the chief executive said on Wednesday.
It is a bad way to cabinet no mu pie na say omo ebiribiri omo ni so no mu hu so. No be catch say we are going to investigate. Na e be say na end people for car. You left a debt of 19 billion cedis. What about a debt of 32 billion cedis? Oh TTM. Now be 32 to 19 no. Ye ni NDC when they come to do account. 19 billion cedis is the debt NDC left at Cocoa Board. And yet between 2017 ebepemune what said that say MPP forecast say moja ye ka 19 billion into yeti cocoa for sika so da what said that. So you see I'm trying to explain to you say Cocoa Board debts,
but they will also tell you so within that same period no world market price and drop it
drop here let me
in the quantum
forget quantum. Let me tell you one interesting thing. Whilst the MPP government ever told debt of 19 billion cedis that year international price drop here to the extent say na nka say aban eti cocoa for sika so di aban ye aban ma mu bail out aban ko pay sika do so mase enti in the year cocoa ye te ye bo so wa bra MPP aban aba mu with 19 billion cedis as debt no aban ante cocoa for kuya for sika so to say NDC for you no. Let me also tell you another thing. Say na you roll over cocoa anything you be uni roll over cocoa pos NDC for Jama in 2017 193,000 metric tons of rollover. And no cramp on my make us a mitro. Sa rollover no. Oman to me and tria, oman to me and yasa cocoa na ma bias no. Obi. Oman to me and yasa cocoa na ma bias no. Oman can't romu. And unti almost say charge Ghana about $7.5 million. Be send this for no NDC penny be about because I will show you the document. I have it all here. It is this for the catcher and around this year you were 330,000 rollover and until I to me obi me say first of all it's a lie. Randy did not inherit 330,000 rollover. He didn't. He inherited just about 163,000 because as you see Randy took over around February. As a February buy no na ye no ye di kaya clear sa rollover no about 190 something thousand if you dada ye tu yakọ ye di cocoa seeds near de ko. Now the agreement with our rollover contract in the crampo na I don't know whether they have seen it or not. And they say in that contract, because we say our rollover na MPP nine, it was as a result of force majeure, El Nino effect. It is not as if say be a BB Bonnie B. But in that agreement, the agreement was that we'll pay it over a period. And sending those cocoa beans over a period. In the contract, it was incumbent say, why am I rollover cocoa pots biano? You are mandated to buy equal quantity. At all costs. Contract. I don't know whether he has seen it or not. It is all the catcher will say, and because of rollover B and MPP for rollover and Tommy in the public before. I'm telling you today, say NDC for a rollover of 190,000 metric tons. Omuja a debt of 19 billion cedis, and yet that same year international cocoa price drop here. MPP yanti cocoa farmers sikaso. So they cannot use debts at cocoa board as an excuse because the cocoa board debt of 32 billion obi. And starting a net, and you could find a cocoa about $32 billion, 32 billion cedis debt in the buy. My boy, NDC for 19 billion cedis now day amount. And a year could find on corner if you are Bemua, we just roll over cocoa pots. NDC for 193,000 roll over cocoa pots. MIN. ABM run the sea, and I'm just share my. Let me tell you, and I'm telling you, any NDC leader that comes here, Bisane say. As at the time NDC taking over 7 January, nearly $500 million. Our Ghana International Bank cocoa board account now. $500 million. And you know, the country was expecting over $1 billion in total of trade and ayada. South Carolina about Kofa Finance Minister and Kasa budget. Onokasa Kai said in the first 4 months of 2025, Cocoa Board had revenue of $1.8 billion. First 4 months. 2025 first 4 months, January, February, March, April. 1.8 billion. NDC for you, it is a random number. And now you have a crisis. You have an obvious challenge. Say, because international market price not dropping, and now we a mistake. One ton cocoa in time and can say ton into your boss. We could all help you. But if you try to turn it around and deflect the conversation by pinning it on the previous government, we would expose you. May say, one, we left in the cocoa board account $500 million cash sitting in the Ghana International Bank account in London for Randy. Ombe deny. Number two, first 4 months in 2025, cocoa board revenue which is in the budget reported by the NDC Finance Minister, $1.8 billion. South Carolina NDC for you, man. So when you come and you are telling the people, say, and I had the 32 billion, and because of that, we'll do this, we'll do that, and Obi, you are creating a certain impression, say, and I want to meet you. Now they cut $32 billion, say this. And so to me, top pickups and 110. Or to me, top land cruisers and Mako 10. A fear what cantonment. Cocoa body fear, I walk cantonment, CEO of your team, May 2nd December 2024, me kofi enim. Obi, we are senior journalist. I'm sure you've been there for events near there. It is one of the best houses you can find in cantonment. Oba and what for cocoa board now see aboka in this canon. O they acquire renovation. Now why if you want to say Arabian Ken Palace. And so say yakada ho. Now what take cocoa for farmers for sikaso. You see, Obi, don't push some of us to say certain things that ebia you have a crisis, deal with your crisis. But no NDC person should attempt say, and you are coming to pin something on. And your MPP in I want to make your cocoa farmers neka. Senka cocoa board debt to me prevent cocoa farmers prices are. And can me say 2017 19 billion cedis debt, 193,000 rollover cocoa pots. Your friend is saying drop in international market price. Still, Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP kept cocoa price at 475 Ghana cedis. We did not decrease it for farmers. Yeah, for cocoa price from 475 to 3,100 Ghana cedis by the time you buy mu. So how do you go about peddling this kind of falsehood and creating an impression? Say, oh, you see, NDC for no, I'm gonna try on lack. They are pushing their lack too much. So good will be no munya entity. I almost say assembly aba. You bet me a kadepe. Oh, so long as you be boy Akufo-Addo din. Near boy MPP didn't quite the 2 months so Ghana for be full. The cocoa farmers are not taking anything, any of that. Share a cocoa farmer today is worse off than they were in 2024, and I will explain to you in a few ways.
That should be the final point.
No, I can find out 3 points, Mr. I can find out 3 points.
But I want to say me
I find out 3 points. They are very important points. Obi, in 2024, the cocoa farmer can say or yen farmer. Obe spend it 10,250 and maintaining 1 acre of farm. Obe do asia 3 times. Obe fertilizer 3 bags. Obe top pesticides. Obe pruning at least once. And our tools in India more de 10,250. In 2026, a cost same farmer no 12,650. What it means is that the cost or the year no a cost essence in the city 2024. But guess what? That same farmer 2024 was spending 10,250 you know. Sikan ko benye fi efuonim 31,000 cedis per acre. And then nisika na swati hum if 31,000 about 25,870. We lose 5,130. Obi 100 acres of cocoa farm Ghana ha and then nisika 513,000 haircut in abaya yamano. 500,000 Ghana cedis haircut and I buy Ediama cocoa farmer ukura your friend is saying 100 acres of farm. So the cost of maintaining the farm has gone up, and yet the income was what's then at so no what's your cotton electricity bill mu, what's your on the water bill mu, what on the bus school fees mu. How do you expect these cocoa farmers to survive? What is likely to happen now is that and that is what we are drawing government's attention. Oh, baby, they are threatening so much and they Ivory Coast for the same markets, the same environment, the same place in Edudwa. Oma maintaining your price no. Oma anteso. Inti abandi saying and Ivory Coast to me maintaining your price more cocoa farmers. Na ye de take cocoa farmer bag bako 1,000 free so. Ye now when you see the Ghanaian cocoa farmers say almost smuggle cocoa ne fi Ghana e de kwa Ivory Coast na oba be complaining. Inti abanding jai kasa. On jai sa attempt na ase mobile radios on TV so on person mu justify or ya woni be kwa omo de share cocoa farmers ni no na omo mpe bi foforo bi ye dey enka che be tumi a obi e be tumi a omo kofa gold sika ni bi to mo se gold na buso ayo mo se gold na se bi economy na buso ni ade na omo ko nane na omo fa sa sika ni bi ye dey enko so cocoa farmers na se but to say omo nje 2,580 something ne tra sa de Minji this Ghana cocoa we are ready for sa haircut. No, but obi oja so waboka. So oja se oja waboka.
But say aban so insist na so mo anya so mo cocoa na say.
Cocoa dey. Oh, be call Ivory Coast. I want to be call Ivory Coast. And say, or the be call Ivory Coast. O so the call Ivory Coast oba ko je tresses. Inti say. Ivory Coast da so ma tresses 3,608 we say. The same market. Ya tso pepe Ivory Coast da so gina ho.
Say be money benefit from economies of scale.
I don't benefit from economies of scale in school. Now, but say, yeah, no they share cocoa board. You see, Obi, separate cocoa board debt from cocoa pricing.
That's
because cocoa pricing, cocoa a memate. And the amimi kwa na cocoa na do scabreme. Oka wo de de. 30% bi na wo nya free adwade na wo di mame no. And na do bo ho bena anameboa. Enti cocoa board debt has nothing to do with cocoa pricing. And that is why I don't understand now. Say I buy we chichi like on person combine two. That's a be nyina yente ade ase. Me anu na na school dan ba kum. Even more we am penny for kra mudi no more na mo che yade. One amuche idea yeke. So why are you treating us like that? Cocoa board debt should not affect the cocoa pricing for cocoa farmers. So what you say? But chinchina mo pese mo pia share cocoa eguafo se na cocoa board de ka enti na cocoa board de ka cocoa ekwe ne fa no ben. Cocoa board see you monte na ketua so. Cocoa board adwumayefo e adwuma cocoa board na monte obi aketua so. Monye skani bi rekwa akoto cars. Eje bi asiesie mu fie. Ade na cocoa farmer ne de on de wo se woti ne sika so. Go and look at where the cocoa farmers live. Obi mako me de mani akwa kwhwe. Me akasa so me wo bi. Mache obebi ewo out in fact Sunday me no be come me cocoa farm. So what you say? It's why do you want? I don't know. Person cocoa equia found there. Omo de omo nte yaw. Na de o tenkan. Na brofa kese nkwa na oka. Na ye bisawa wo se kufuado. Na kufuado no. Na debt ni won to me de 3,100 make equia for no. E kana wo kan na wo ho. Nso de 3,1 ma yen. Enti na ma me ba ko kasa o te de oka o se Mahama pa. Onye ne de na mfiri so. No pe kufuado de na yen den. E ma no because o promise me 65. 65 no we tumi amfa ma me. Onso ba ya e kufuado de na wo ho no wase ya be ye fi ho. Ye bisa wa wose Ekufuado na ye enti na mate wade no so ene oba be ye dan Ekufuado no wo ho no obi medemanu si
Dennis miracles abo
medemanu si Ekufuado no wo ho no a wose onye papa no no ma me 31 oso no ma me 35 na me 2 Ekufuado na mede wo bae mede wo bae a wa bete me 31 na Ekufuado ma me na wose ono ye no so aba 25 uwi a adenti na wate so a wose Ekufuado na bo kegu wonti ya na de na me Ekufuado mbo kegu no ma me 25 Oma me 3-1. Ekufuado bo kegu ba na kana oteso no na otumi ma me 3-1 dia. Ada na me Ekufuado ntina se no mboka no ma me 3-1. Na wo de o mboka ba ma me 2-5. Na wo ne wa ban penifo what say ate government official bia ketua ya teso da. Since they came to office 1 year nie. What say ate obi aketua so da. They have all increased their salaries and yet almost take cocoa ekua for sika so. It is going to be very difficult for the government to get the cocoa farmers to accept SAR 2,500. I can tell you that. You visited 21 cocoa communities. And now I say the team is on the field. As at 1 p.m., no more visited 4 more. It's a 25 cocoa communities. All the 40 major cocoa districts in Naye Obi. There is no way any cocoa farmer will accept that. Government don't offer gold this can be. No more farm.
Meaning say in that cabinet meeting it taking decisions as finance minister they be two and now to meeting.
Yes, na me obi.
Yeah, better decisions, no one after the other. I think Bakwa created a whole lot of controversy. The decision to reduce the price per bag of cocoa. And then, and nam somamu arrive at that decision, honorable.
Yo, the Kameda was it. Namachia with your phone now. On it, you say cocoa no, ya twa ya cotton. And the baby ya cotton no, a hot bono so, and a ya jina.
Yes.
Na ya se samba isi kenim. Na yedi atwa cocoa ebo no enti brebia Ghana ban betwa bo no odi ka hwe me koton a say na menya
yes
na odi asesa ba yesi disini mu na waka say ne mefa sei na mama ekuafo sei obeka say 2004 ebra yenua no MPP wo pa wo mutwa abo no me ana me di anim as ranking member eba abon so wafidi aso kra betra so bi ena me ka say me ye calculation hwe bo a aban na nya na manone na me use exchange rate sabre no na ye 16s baba ye use 15.5 check here na cocoa bag bi asa aban se on ton bi kuani na mfa na de enko abochire nkoton a ka kuani benya 9,700
yes
is a 9,700 there any aban no ma kuafo no 6,000 na onfa 3,700
which would have been 70% of
60%.
No, 60%.
So here 60 point something 60 or 61 or something
yes.
like that and if I say 60% nanka the akano aban fa and aban se debi on the obeya no ma kuafo 3,100 in fact the check here no you be around 32% and aban no so fa 68%. Oh yeah, in fact say around nyina up.
Yes.
And you can say ASCC because in the history of cocoa in Ghana, aban bia nye saade ni bida. Say ofado do kese pa e chen ekuafo no. Entensi. And we spoke against that. In the NDC ba pa way.
In speaking against that, no more say mobile power, mobile 6,500.
Yes, say NDC ba power, you make 60%. In fact, yes, 60% no President Mahama Kra can sad be can we no 70% of the FOB price. And a 70% no, you send share your manifesto say you winning election. Sika be a benyana brochebiano. You be 70%. I think I can be our. And now me call Bobi. I'm Obiate. Me checking in and say, and some of my for 6,000. Now, my man is idea Mosisino. In fact, the lunch your manifesto cram is a kind. Oh, and yes, it's a NDC bar. A Bobby a benyana brochebiano. Ya can stay person. President Mamo ye leader. Or ya campaign. And also there be sister person no cry is swap. Faman na koko ne dia. And it's your winning election. Under my leadership as president, John Dramani Mahama, member Equiafor no 70%.
But and the farmers
and I share, but what was any share your manifesto. Sure. And to your buyer no, Okwasina mi ya no, your buyer no, yenya cocoa buono $7,200. A year ton,
yes,
$7,200. Say $7,200
divided by 16.
Oh, yeah, and fan kokra. When your share was a boy benya say biano. You make your phone 70%.
Yes.
And to calculate 70% of 7,200 now, $5,040. Sabo when you did my cocoa for. Sa cocoa ton be a bag dinsiano. You better on $5,040. The demand equiaforno. Now it's a 70% promise now. And this you buy share, you know.
Yes.
Yadiso. About Joti. Natienie. Yama Kuyanino, 5,040 70% no. Yemfa FOB Nanka say 7,200 no. Na yemfa nya na Messi pay back value said na person yen no. 7,200 no. Na $1 bia was a san. Unya 10 cedis 25 pesos.
Okay.
At the time I August last year.
Yes.
And the 10 cedis 20 pesos. To the multiply 25 pesos. Not ton biano. Okotona bruchra. 73,800
Ghana cedis.
Ghana cedis. A year 20. Now you divide by 16. Which is a bag biano. Yenya 4,613. 4,613. And yes, you make your 70%. 70% of 4,613 no, 3,228.75.
The only initial price now one.
You make your for. You make your for no. Now yes, you make your for no 70%. And make your for because na says kawe so. Moka samo be maye, munya be maye the toss when my sister million na mo see so.
Yes.
Etimba be maye the 60% is of the other na kwa say. And ye chire mu chire kwa for no say. Exchange rate no ene diaba na wo mo penso no now the $1 bi aba na ye use 15.5 ene check here so and now the same $1 no ba 10.25 sabre na ye twa no enti exchange rate na nkasa ma o se samba cities mu a sika no so ye dey ate na nkasa ye cedi no ejina na ena wo de za sika no multiply by 15.5 now. And can we see can the edema for a car can do 6,000 now. You can't want them. A 5,800 and something. And that's a cost 6,000. And I can phone me exchange rate surgery and then no could die. You two you did way by August September, October. And the exchange rate there is $1 no. A peja and mukosro.
Yes.
It could do 11.51 dollar be afedi a free 10.25 no akọ 11.50 and man penye say there be exchange rate na mo di twa abo no makuafo no apagya ni mu it is all the dollar ne ba na now say bia beguso and ye mon calculate na de abeguso no mo fa makuani say ba ya kuani ne honya dey enkyere no and ye san calculate e de 11.50 ne ye dey e calculate ye de calculate ye na cocoa bag bia no 400 Ghana cedis abeka ho and the pagya abo no call 3,625.
Yes.
Major what you say?
Yes.
And you did 3,625 no Emma Equiafo. And you did cocoa
which was still 70%.
70%. And I to cocoa no cocoa no. Cocoa board that to cocoa the abedin in sem. I have 580,000 tons.
Need at this
you ton this price
3,625.
Nemu 530,000 there yakọ ton.
Yes.
50,000 there ye nyan ton. Ye be ton no. and a bona tifi sabedru $4,200 into $4,200 no se ne o de check exchange rate a ewo ho na just say 4,200 no o check exchange rate na $1 bia benya 10.95 10.95 into the cocoa bag dunsi anton no kodra brochira e 45,984 so wo cha na se o de bag ba ku bia e kodra brochira sika obenya free mu 2,874 Ghana cedis eye cocoa bag no
yes
ubenya 2,874 Ghana cedis and I say cocoa no ne boa ye de kwa ye benyani de ya tofa 50,000 na ye nya nkoton ye no ye ya to no 3,625
okay
ba ye koton a ye benya 2,874 de aka paso ewo ho se si a ye nto ye no me de ka ho bi me sister de ka ho bi me wo fa no de ka ho bi sa cocoa ni nyina no ye koton 2,000
count the potential for smuggling into Ghana.
In fact, a big dikaba.
That's fine. Sisia, what we've been told, and it's with the new price I have fixed, no. Cote d'Ivoire, the end was through SN. You agree?
No. Yeah, only the end in this room. Just a be our case, be a man now so price for be idea.
But they've not announced a reduction in price.
No, Omo so Cote d'Ivoire, Obi. Ya no be can't be why I'm for you in the actually. Say on the Oko Brohafua. Your baby or Kroba. Very anu say a higher Cote d'Ivoire, a higher Ghana.
Yes.
Cocoa for riba concra a chum country ni mienu.
Yes.
And it's a buono cost through Cote d'Ivoire. Kaba hu cocoa no kwa echo. But the more about who's a Ghana cocoa ni esusa me cocoa higher and tono. So just say na Cote d'Ivoire so the higher tono. Now who say enya no cre.
Are you by that saying, say
Obiaka Chawa
Cote d'Ivoire so a reduced price about 2,000 say.
Which I say, Odia check Cote d'Ivoire, when a Cote d'Ivoire for a boy, Ngagana has a cocoa do anything and can go to dada. They say, I know Casacra, cocoa if you togo. Na yenya now surprise no. You who say cocoa fitogo abagana. And tonight,
and your farmer beyond the vessel will go through the stress.
No, your farmer sinako, your farmer sinaye. That's why I'm going to go my own tears. You can be ready. You won't call for a better a smuggler. No,
yes.
In fact, Brian be too born I can't say born in you. Now, man for better cocoa no Ghana. At the Cote d'Ivoire cotton, and we a business can see no more. And no tell mom got a task force, task force on your day, and go see Sadiano, Ano. And Joby, young Ghana, any Cote d'Ivoire body. Se buono cost chair, Okrawa now so ha. A crafon crabaka so, you come about the torn about the other day, at the amount. But that is not the case. Memene, ya can't bazawo Cote d'Ivoire. Before say you have a cabinet meeting, no. Me engage you ye din komo
okay
because na pese me hunu Cote d'Ivoire situation no at the time I no mo kasa no no matter 1.3 million metric tons to the market world market but no more 250,000 tons egu wa ye nyanton ye
my kind story man am your reaction 18th February 2026 David Apenga writing from My Joy Online
18th February na be
18th February 2026 that should be today right enne
there be na 16th and we conscious na ocean a prophecy
hey Mrs. 16th February 2026 sorry 16th February 2026
and they are
David Apinga or say Ivory Coast maintains report on My Joy Online
okay I'll say
Ivory Coast maintains 3,600 Ghana cedis equivalent a cocoa bag as Ghana reels from 28% emergency price cut story ne say Cote d'Ivoire has officially maintained its farm gate price for cocoa at 2,800 CFA francs, approximately 3,600 Ghana cedis per 64 kg bag. The decision announced by the Coffee Cocoa Council on Monday, 16 February 2026, stands in stark contrast to neighboring Ghana, which just days ago implemented a drastic 28.6% reduction in its producer price to stay afloat. The Ivorian authorities have confirmed that the price will remain unchanged until 31st March 2026, defying the global market slump that has forced Ghana into a defensive reset of its cocoa economy. The CCC's press release was not merely a pricing update, but a stern warning to licensed buyers. The council reiterated that full payment for delivered cocoa must be made within 1 month, threatening rigorous legal sanctions against any offenders who fail to respect the minimum guaranteed price or the payment timeline. Quote, the Coffee Cocoa Council invites coffee cocoa producers to report all cases of non-compliance with the guaranteed minimum price and or delays in payment to its competent services so that offenders suffer the rigor of the law, the statement read. Honorable, clearly, Cote d'Ivoire has not reduced or more price.
No? What I can say, or say the son number. What's in the What's in the no man now?
Sure. And they are storing.
In fact, me and Kasa, not here, the minimum.
Okay.
But time I yako kabla me no mo kasa
okay.
Na omo price. Any price now is a difference behind him kasibia.
Hey, how is that possible?
I'm telling you, that's why I'm catching a story no. Yantri Abuasi.
And no, it's a statement issued by the CCCO.
And I'm saying Tobuasi. And they are now okasa as a way. Because Tobuasi. Na yantri Abuasi. Me sorry for ya. Sorry I can't tell me here. Me call Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
I find out from your colleagues
okay.
This is the report to Ayenya. What is it? Na a home feedback biano.
Yes.
Me de na unim. Se ko ebuo no akosora, then all of us can take advantage. Obi an what be see.
Yeah, but the question then will be said because this statement says the
medical catch
hold on. The statement says they would maintain this price till March 31st.
Me say
if that should hold sway, then how do you justify Ghana?
Any statement way
this is the same word market price.
Well, I was between check it with Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes.
But what you say?
I believe.
And a medical catch was say. Me medical catch was say. Me ankasa. Tienye. Odi. Tienye. De what say? Me say me ankasa. Me ndim say ye betwa boy.
Okay.
Me hunu cocoa tracks a na sisi ye borders ba bia bi no person mo de bag na beton. Rationally. So Cote d'Ivoire was 3,000. So Cote d'Ivoire was 3,600.
Yes.
Cote d'Ivoire was 3,600 cocoa price.
Sure.
Yen you and my borders no so a omo de nsisi ho a na yen tona na omo nyeska no. Sanka wo hu sa ba kokora nsi ho. So wonim cocoa ma enka na ba kokora anya dai. Na ona wonim ana.
They say one now say farmers now in farm go say nko for the babeton.
No, ye wo borders ho a e ho de ofa cocoa to wa du Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah. Bre. E ho de ani it is a board to say ya. Majority is a board to say that.
Yes.
And come Tom Coco in Yako. In fact, a bassa ya, Sonima, small
yes, but that is not to say honorable, sir.
That's what
story is not.
A Yamona more story, no.
Sure.
Drive for more story. It me.
Yes.
And they are the more story about.
Yes.
Mesomako confirm.
Okay.
Your confirmed story, no.
Okay.
Na it is
okay.
We'll look at what happened.
Okay.
Say adjustment be now about
okay.
Say Yadika catch says adjustment be about. Government of Ghana will never hesitate to increase the price.
That's fine.
Say nay, price is favorable na Cote d'Ivoire for now. So why can't Ghana do the same?
The same world market price aba for me ya. And idea o mo no ma ban aso ma sentin na wa maintain ya what will Ghana do?
No, edu ho Ghana will take a decision. Because ye ne Cote d'Ivoire nso nyina no ye hwe prices sebe ya e bia nkofa how bia American trade na. It's a Cote d'Ivoire price. Ghana problem. Ghana will never allow that to happen.
That's fine.
And that's why I'm going to say, story, I feel number. And every Ghanaian must understand, say, cocoa buoso na ide ate.
That's fine.
And yes, I buy be, I and say, Uzi Akuafo. Now say, I buy that Dana no matter 31% now. Obi ka 31% ka present government Akuafo say.
Honorable Ntisiano, a great ministry.
One can
play role.
One can da. Asama yera. You see, Asama yera Erikopoku pese ochire ye ne say. The farmer is better off. Is that not the case? Because the farmer has more purchasing power now than the farmer did under Kufuado. Is that not the case? And so because is that person not saying say you are better off? Now you are in a better position. I know that means to me Rikopoku addresses say sa farmer no when they can lose 51,000 and now we lose 100,000. Into what are you talking about? Now, number 2, Emrano Conti. Yera, Erikopoku, Ebe Kachre and say, prices, Ubusan a question.
Yes.
Sa Aden or Man Ton Coco no Dodona. Or say no Muntimi. because syndicated no na omaye rollover be oman timi and deliver. Obi, is this the first time Cocoa Board enya rollover?
No.
In fact, year by year 2017, the prior crop year 2016-2017 crop year, omoko J $1.8 billion. But oman timi and deliver. Oko City FM 4-year story, missing cash at Cocoa Board. Story it talks about the fact say Cocoa Board and delivered that $1.8 billion worth of cocoa. So the new government next will call Bob $200 million to be able to deliver sa cocoa no. Some syndication. So how can Eric Opoku come and tell us say why una rollover untimi syndication? Even time COVID buy, even time you're shutting out of the world market on the bond market 2022, 2023, 2024. Ninyina ye syndication anamebwa. Even those times at IMF, the World International Bond Market shutting out, yet me ye syndication. So where from this argument that when there is rollover you can't do syndication? It is false. Number 3, Yura. Oh, he said it here. And I want Tiana.
Bibi says I won't mean compare syndication about my instances.
I don't know
No, you are painting me bad as if say I'm misinterpreting what the Eric Opoku here. But Eric Opoku will say no question. And Eric Opoku can say, "Yan timi nya syndication." Ubusa ne say, "Oh, name of them say." They no kind.
Obi ubusa ne say, "Yan timi nya sa no, they no kind."
Na
unim de okan ya catch
proceed. Why? Proceed.
They toss you, Obi. The third point I may person me making is ye Musa ye around the abbey. A den wonya utimi make for 3,600 no.
Said now based on the world market price at the time.
What a crop year Cocoa Board announced price within that same crop year no will reduce that.
No, in Cedar.
In Cedar. Why?
Because the situation is be announced.
That situation be here. The SCI price fluctuation.
Yes.
And price fluctuation happens all the time.
But the quantum drop.
The quantum drop is neither here nor there. The point I am making to you is say price fluctuations happen within every crop year. And why you projections, okay? And what they call the world market, and wakonya 7,000 per ton. On the basis of that, and I would 3,600 near then buy. So the question is, are there now 7,000? 1 ton cocoa no do na. So there was a trading decision Randy Abe made that even though menya $7,000 per ton no. Me de ko ka kire kuafo se me mo 3,600 but me ton cocoa no metwa ya hwe se menya a higher price. Was that not a trading decision? It was that trading decision that backfired, because Randy Abe could have easily said okay 7,000 ya menya ma me ton de wo hu nyina ana ma me ton 80% na me nya be 20 enti se kosra na me de kakra den abeka ho se kofom at least metimi balance me ho out. But Randy Abe took a decision that at 7,000 I will not sell. So let nobody come and tell you say price is follow yenti. Debbie, you had a chance. You had a chance. And the chance was at 7,000. So 7,000 no adentin around the Abbey. Anton, did I say where did you get that 7,000 from, and how were you able to do the 3,006? And why did you not sell all your cocoa or 80% at that time? That was because you took a trading decision, and it is that trading decision that has backfired.
And the trading decision was said, forward sales.
Yeah,
can't say be a price the cost will be near taking advantage.
Yeah, take advantage.
Spot sale.
True spot sale. And it failed. Enti cocoa eswati eneno enye eka Cocoa Board de yemfa ne se Cocoa Board de kampo a ɛmfa car cocoa board de ho ɛna ɛmfa syndication ho ɛnɛ koko a yɛate so no yɛ Randy Abbey decision will take you say on ton cocoa ɛno nti
na sɛ Randy Abbey ɔne nkɔfoɔ na yɛ adwuma wɔ cocoa board
ɛne nkɔfoɔ no mo ka ho ɔmɛbɔ omudi
ɔmo advice ɔmo de bɛma no nso de yɛ adwuma
technical people no wuni ha ɛne yɛ ka kyerɛ wo sɛ yɛ appointee Randy Abbey appointee abrantie bi president nso pointing ne deɛ
ɛno na ɛno yɛ CMC ɛno nyɛ
Dabi CMC, they are part of the trading decisions. The cocoa marketing board,
yes,
they are part of the trading decisions. And then encophobia ye transfer mu expert bi omo ye very good in the trading decision. And you see Eric yasama ye ka no enya say ye nim say world prices are drop o enya no ho asem na ye ka o de ye ka ne say
there were moments and also
there was a bad trading decision on the part of this government. Randy Abbey and take his decision. No? And that bad decision in a drew baby a no. Point blank period. Of course, you are aware of the global market. You say fluctuations happen. But who buy the status quo they say always buy 70% to 80% on forward. And then you leave 20 to 30% on spot. And non pono a light crop. A light crop. Now I blend it. Send ye beya ubaka unya profit to die kuyanino sefatano nensabeden ebeka. Now uko taking such a bad decision we are not beka say ye man 90% FOB. Sanka one take bad decision anka FOB asam no kwanya den emem. That is the crux of the matter. A bad decision. And Toby, let nobody blame cocoa board debt. Let nobody blame syndication. It has nothing to do with Asama Yekano. And Tinkayera President Mahama. So see good governance na all pair. The first Nayera President Mahama is what you say or audit the decision the trading room for the take here. Oma independent auditors enko kwasha omu decision no mu take here and say was it the best for Ghana? You see Ghana how they be a jump the relevant things. Because so who's a trading decision in the course so yes our problem now. Obi then abeye. Your next step they say who are the best trading experts? Your next goal no they will come and help us to make the right decision. And this I can say, who could blame any other thing? A china so almost a mistake in the biwa. Yama square one.